About a week ago, I released a video as it pertains to getting to know you and falling for you, loving you, all that fancy stuff, right? I saw a comment from Chantal. Now, Chantal is someone that I talk to pretty often, so shout out to you, Chantal. And as for the people who were in my closest proximity, like in literal physical distance, we were having a conversation about the conversation as it pertains to getting to know you. Little did I know that I was going to be called an instigator, but I'm just like, well, if I have to provoke you for you to put yourself front and center, then cool. I'm cool with the name calling. That's fine, right? So I sat and I listened to the conversation as it pertains to the beauty and the ugly that comes with getting to know you, right? And so I decided I was going to share my insight because at no point do I want you to think that the journey to knowing who you are and loving who you are is easy. It's not, okay? Loving yourself is more than just getting up and saying, oh, I love me so much, and I'm amazing. No, it means that even on the days when you cannot stand you, you're gonna have to get up and fight for you. You know, when the entire world is against you, well, it might feel like that. You know, when it feels like the entire world is against you, your back is against the wall, everything is closing in. Yes, those days you're definitely gonna have to still choose you. See, choosing me is not one of the most, you know what? I'll leave that out. But I'll simplify it. Choosing me meant that I had to let go of a lot of things and a lot of people who were familiar, because I feel deep down we all know when a situation is no longer right for you, or that it wasn't even right to begin with, but it was so comfortable, it was so familiar. And I feel like a lot of times we know that it's time to tap out of it, you know, end it. Like it has expired, that everything about it is done. But we feel as though we're gonna lose. Sometimes we know that choosing us means that we lose people who we probably just really want to stay. And choosing you means that you're gonna have to walk most of the journey alone. And when you're so used to things and people, well, what do you mean I have to do it alone now? I don't want to lose these people, even though they make me want to pull my hair out, even though I want to just be like, oh, you know, I want them here. This is all I've known, especially if it's someone that you probably grew up with, or people who have been like so close to you all your life. You don't want to know what it's like without them, because the unfamiliar is very dangerous for us. Like a lot of people, they'll tell you, I'll stick with the evil that I know because at least I know what to expect. But that's a very twisted way to look at things. That's you giving yourself an excuse to just settle for like rubbish, foolishness, you know. And I've always been my own way my entire life. I am not going to come here and front like I'm not complicated at times, because I am. You know, I am probably someone that my friends or my family, they think about leaving behind. And not because I'm just this terrible person, but because I can't be broken. No matter what they throw at me, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, I'm not easily broken. People don't know where to hit me at for it to hurt, because I've never given them that leverage. I've never given them that satisfaction. So when they come at me and they say despicable things and they do absolutely terrible things, no matter what, they don't see me sweat. And that can intimidate somebody. And when you have someone that you can't break, per se, you don't necessarily want to have them around, right? I have been emotionally unavailable to probably everyone in my entire life. So yes, I am probably someone that people would like to heal from too, because they don't understand, or they never understood how they could just, I guess, try to connect with me, but emotionally I'm just not there. Never been there. So I had to face myself and be like, okay, Jade, so you have some complexities. You have things about you that would make someone else not want to be around. And, you know, I stand on that. I am that. I can be that. Okay, I can be, yes, I can be a pain in the ass for my friends and family and even lover, I promise you, right? So when I had to meet myself in order to love me, I had to say, okay, Jade, well, why is it that you care for these people? You show up for them, always there for them, but you don't allow them to do that for you. It's like you can't expect people to want to keep you around and you're giving them nothing. And so I was like, I don't think that's fair to them. But at the same time, I cannot be that for them. So if they looked at me tomorrow and they're like, hey, I love you, I care for you, but I feel like we cannot continue anymore because this is who you are and it's against everything that I'm trying to focus on for myself, I have to be okay with that. Because with every action, there is a reaction. So with me being closed off, their reaction is that they gotta go because they can't trust me, because they feel like they don't know me to a specific extent. It doesn't matter that I showed up for them. That's not what this is about. They are grateful. I've met amazing people and they are grateful, but the disconnect comes when they don't know how I really, I guess, feel about things, because I don't allow that. And you know, I was like, okay, if these people really mean so much to you, Jay, then would it kill you to just be a little bit more lenient in that department? But I just couldn't. And so a lot of times it came with them saying, okay, I gotta go, or I gotta fall back on you. And I was okay with that, because at no point were you gonna force me to be what I wasn't ready to be. So if that meant losing out on you, I'm cool with that. And I know a lot of people would not admit that, because unfortunately a lot of us think that we're just so, you know, high and mighty, so we have no flaws. Technically, we don't have flaws, but there are things that we can always work on, right? And so when I decided that I'm gonna get to know who I am and know why I am this way, I had to pull me to the forefront. And I had to say, okay, Jade, what is going on? What happened that caused you to be so emotionally unavailable? Like, you can be a superhero to literally anything that you put your mind to, but when it comes to emotions, you just shut down. And so by pulling myself front and center, I had to acknowledge my traumas that led to that identity of me being without emotions. Because truthfully, we all have emotions, every single one of us. But some of us, yes, we have sort of perfected not reflecting that part of us. Some of us, we just view the world differently. Some of us, we view situations differently. Some of us just go about life differently. But in my journey to love me, I needed to start with some of the issues that people have pointed out with me. I had to drag myself to the front of the room and say, okay, we got to figure this out. Now, am I emotionally available now? I'm still working on it. Okay. But I have allowed myself to try to just understand that the emotional intelligence and communication that is necessary between people, it's a very vital part of you growing, right? So I was sharing that while I was debating with them about the pros and cons, and when I confronted my traumas, there were times when it was very overwhelming for me. It was like, I'm like, I can't do that. That's stupid. Like, with me, I was just looking at me and be like, that's so stupid. Why are you here trying to like talk to yourself about what's going on with you? Like, that's odd. Just, just dismiss it like you always do. Like, just like, this is a stupid journey. It's unnecessary. It's not gonna get you anywhere. And that's what I told myself. And I mean, when you look at it, it's kind of cringy to just be like, okay, I got this. I'm gonna talk to myself and I'm gonna sort things out. People will think you're crazy, and I had to change the way that I saw it. I had to change the way that I was processing myself. And so I was like, okay, maybe right now you don't want to dive into the emotional detachment. Cool. Okay. But can we start small? And so I tackled myself in little ways. I read a lot because I was slacking with reading. I typically love reading because I do love finding new words, and I'm like, okay, the spelling is weird, or the definition sounds weird, or the word itself is weird. And I enjoyed the storyline that the authors came up with, and so I was reading, take my mind to different places to see how much I can understand everything that's happening. And at first it was just a little bit like, okay. But then after a while, I made it into a routine where, okay, I'm gonna read a book that has to do with mental health, or I'm gonna read a book that has to do with detachment, And when I feel like that's just too much for me, I'm like, okay, myself and we're going to take a walk. Or at some point, I had a lot of anger inside me. So I took up boxing briefly. And then I went on to jiu-jitsu. And I don't know, I just maneuvered around little things to see what I can combat myself with, because I needed to understand what's going on. But no matter what I did, I was still mentally blocking everything. Like I was just doing it, but not really connecting myself to it. So I'm like, all right, Jade, you got to take this seriously. And so I went back to revisiting some of my traumas, right? And I started from when I was a kid. And I had to forgive myself for a lot of things that I took part in, because, you know, sadly, a lot of times people don't know the choices that you had. They only know of the decision that you made, but no one knew what the choices were. And what's crazy about it is that should they be in a position where they were in your shoe and those choices were the only ones available to them, I bet you that they choose the exact same one. So, yes, I had to forgive myself. I had to pardon myself a lot. And sometimes we meet people with very healing energies, and sometimes we also heal people. But I would normally tap in and out of my journey. Like I'll start and then I'm like, man, screw this. This is stupid. And then I just go back. I just revert to my regular day-to-day life, and I don't care. But I was limiting myself because, and I was a hypocrite, because when it comes to that healing energy that I was talking about, sometimes you're around people who are very vulnerable, very open, and they let you in on their traumas and on the things that troubles them and on the things that they had to be a part of, right? And you sit there and you listen to them and you empathize and you sympathize and you realize, well, this person is not the worst thing that it has ever happened to them. Like, despite everything that they've told you, you still wanted to give them a shot, whether it's to just be their friend, or even if you're in a relationship with them, or even if they're your family and you guys are having like heart-to-heart conversations, and you know that this person is or has gone through whatever, but you still want to extend your warmth, your kindness, and your love to them, right? So the hypocrisy came in where I would want them to understand that they deserve love, they deserve kindness, they deserved great things. And that even though those bad things happen and that I understood those bad things, it's not the end all be all for them, right? So I was a hypocrite because I can find a way to forgive them and to accept them and to be here with them. But when it came to myself, I didn't want to give myself a chance. Hypocrisy. So why is it that me, with all my brokenness or damage or whatever you want to call it, right? Why can I understand their pain and their hurt and still want to shield them and cover them and ride through the storm with them? But when it came to me, I just shut me out and be like, well, you deserve only bad things. Makes no sense. Why the same love that I'm applying to people, I couldn't apply that to me? And so I challenged myself. And I'm like, okay, I am going to take a page from my own book. And just like I was attentive towards them, I'm going to do the same for me. I'm going to listen to me. I'm going to understand me. And maybe if I administer that mindset, then this journey could actually be worth something to me. And so that's what I did. On a random day, when I was just out there being in the presence of regular people who got some crappy deals out of life, but I still wanted them to believe that they deserved great things too. So why, when it came to me, I closed me off? Well, that's stupid. So yeah, that's how I started. I was like, okay, Jade, this journey that I'm doing, it doesn't have a specific end date, because loving yourself, it doesn't have a full stop to it, okay? It has just you and your demons at a round table having shots and just laying it all out there. That's the best way I can put it, because I do have demons, you know, but I decided I'm no longer going to let those demons control me. So here, what? I'm going to invite y'all to have a seat with me. And we're not necessarily becoming friends, but we're having a drink to all my fears, to all my bad habits, to all my emotional detachment, to all my traumas, just to everything. Come on, we are going to do it. And by we, I just mean me and all my demons, all the things that troubles me that I don't speak on to no one. Because, you know, as much as I'm like emotionally unavailable to the extent that they want me to be, it's not that I choose to. I just feel like you're going through a lot. I don't need to pile my crap on top of your crap. That's how I honestly viewed it. But they're looking at it like, I don't care if you're going through a lot of crap, but I care that you're going through a lot of crap. Does that make sense? Like, even though they're going through that crap that we're talking about, they still want to hear my crap. And we can bond and we can probably understand each other better. But to me, I'm just like, I don't want to be an inconvenience to your life. So I'm cool just listening and supporting you. But for a long time, I did not see that as a problem. I saw that as a solution. Because how many times do you talk to someone and before your story even gets finished, they're just diving in and telling you about all the things that they think they have in common with the story that you're telling them? So no, I don't want that to be your takeaway. I want your takeaway to be that I'm listening and I care. But I wasn't seeing it their way, that they're just saying, yeah, Jade, but I feel like I can't connect with you because you're not telling me anything about you. To me, I just think I'm sparing you from my crap. But to you, you see it differently. And I can be stuck in my ways. So I just leave you to your own thought. I'm not going to try to convince you otherwise. And if that comes to us, closing the curtains after so long because you just didn't get anywhere with me, then I have to accept that. And people never understood why I'm just like so okay about things. Like, I can know you for years, and one day you get up and you're like, I'm done with you, Jade. And my response is gonna be, okay. And sometimes they get angry, like, you won't even fight back, you won't fight for me or whatever. And I'm just like, well, if you've concluded that you're done and you want to walk away, then why am I gonna fight for you? Because me, if I don't mean something, I'm not saying it. I'd rather tell you all the ways that you are interrupting my peace, but no, I'm not going to tell you I'm done with you if I really don't mean it. But despite me viewing life like that, not a lot of people view things like that. Sometimes people do say stuff like, oh, I'm leaving, just to see if you'd care, right? But to me, I just thought that that was very dumb, honestly. So, I have to take the way how I view the world out of it sometimes in my friendships or relationships to understand that, no, they're just testing to see if I have a pulse. And I don't know, I just feel like we're grown, so don't say things that you don't mean. Okay? Yes. So, loving myself meant I had to say goodbye to a lot of things. And some of the things I had to say goodbye to, I didn't want to, which is why I've always relapsed on my journey, and I'm just like, all right, I'm done. I'm not doing this. But, a few years ago, I decided to take it seriously. And as the time went by, I did lose more people than I bargained for. And that's not because of any great misunderstandings. It's just that now that I'm putting myself first, it's not really gonna be pleasing to a lot of people, because I'm always the girl that says, it's cool, I got you. You need me, I'm gonna show up. No questions asked. Whether I'm having a bad day, a depressive episode, a very high stress level, anxiety level through the roof, you're not gonna know that, because I'm gonna drop all of that to come be by your side, no matter what. And when I get back home, I'll deal with me. I'll deal with me later. That's always my thing. I'll just deal with me later. Right? So now when I just say no, especially without a specific reason, just no, then people are just like, oh, well, you've changed. No. I started accepting me for me. I started making no apologies for being who I am. I started enjoying me. You see, even though I'm taking this journey seriously, I do have things that I'm just like, man, I don't see why it couldn't work out. But I'm not the type that's gonna put myself below average anymore so I can sustain something with someone. Like, it's just, I don't care who you are. I don't care how many years we spent together. I don't care how much I care for you, or how much I loved you, or how much you loved me. I'm trying to get to know every bit that I can about me, every part of me that I've suppressed, everything that I have hidden. I'm apologizing to me. And I am loving her. It's messy, okay? And man, some days I am very tempted. But lately, when I get tempted, I remember that I'm part of a community that I started. I'm part of a few people who identifies with me. And so if they identify with me, then I can't be all that messed up now, can I? You know, I'm probably still messed up, but I can't want the best for you as a person, but not want the best for me. And you guys, you know, we're forming something here. I know I may not have like a lot of people here right now, and that's okay. Eventually I will, but for now I have my subscribers and my viewers, and y'all still show up. And honestly, if I've impacted just one person, that's enough for me, because at least one person out there was willing to try to get to know themselves. And that's a win, you know. But thank you all for being here. Like, it's, I know you don't know me fully, and I don't know you personally, probably, but it means a lot to me that you're here. It means a lot to me when I release a video and someone actually watches it. I'm like, okay, that's not so bad after all, you know. And I don't feel like everything is just crappy because you identify with me. But this journey that we're on, it's not just a one cap fits all kind of situation. It's one where you're gonna want to give up a lot. You're gonna want to just be like, man, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. Especially if all your life you've just taken care of everything and everyone around you and never yourself. Then yes, choosing to put yourself first for once is gonna be like, what? That's not even possible. But take it from me, because I'm the girl who tapped out of me a million times. I was just done with me. I'm just like, man, whatever happens to me in this life, I'm cool with that. But that's not an attitude to have. That's you just giving up because it's easier. Doing the work is hard. It's like going to the gym, you know, and I'm impatient. If I do a set today, I'm expecting to see the results right now, like immediately. But if you're a person that goes to the gym, you know that it takes a while before you start seeing the progress. But the important thing is that you're adjusting your diet, you know, you're eating or not eating what you're not supposed to. You're just making changes to your entire self. And There are days when you probably don't want to go to the gym because it's probably raining, or your muscles are sore, or you're just having a gloomy day. But those are days that you should go, because those are the days when your workout, you're like, man, I didn't even want to come here today, but I'm glad I did, you know? And if you don't go to the gym, then it could just be just anything as it pertains to voting for yourself and trying with yourself. It's gonna take work. It's not just gonna be an overnight success story. I know that we've been brainwashed to believe that we're not important enough to make a difference in this world. But that's not true. That's never true. It's just words placed by society so that we can play by their rules and do life their way, so that they can drain us and we remain in this monotonous routine until our last breath. So yeah, when there's this random girl telling you, nah, you can believe in yourself and you got this, of course it's gonna be like, yeah, okay girl, I get it, but it's possible. And I don't know, since I really decided to commit and take my journey seriously, I've had very peaceful days, very happy days. I've learned how to tune out a lot of noise and just give my voice a reason to echo, you know? And I like it. So, no, I don't know what your demons are like, and I don't know what actually bothers you. I don't. But what I do know is that before all these layers were ever added to you, there was a time when you were happiest. There was a time when you felt like you got this and it's just you and you're free. But, you know, over time, there were a lot of voices that impacted us and told us who we should be, and told you that who you want to be will never be enough. And I would like to challenge you to believe that you are great, but you have to give yourself a fair shot. You have to do the dirty work. Yes, you can come here and be mad at me on your worst days when the journey is just too much for you. I can handle that. What I can't handle is you deciding that, well, you're not worth anything, so screw this. No. That's a loser. That's a loser's way of just combating life. You just give up. I mean, if you're gonna give up anyway, why not try? What else do you have to lose? If you're giving up, you have nothing else left to lose. That's why you're giving up. So try. Prove me wrong then. Tell me, oh, this is never gonna work. Okay, do it. And we'll revisit it a year from now, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm just gonna be here all the time talking to you and telling you about all my royal screw-ups and all my amazing progresses and everything that goes in between. But I'm gonna just be here yapping, so might as well just do it, because I'm not leaving. Okay? So I'm gonna leave now. I'm gonna end this session because I do have more things that I want to talk about, but I don't want to make this video like super long. I know that people got things to do. So I just hope that what I shared with you showed you or made you realize a little bit more that I have those days too. Same days like you, or similar days to you. But I'm pushing through because happy, it looks good on you. And it feels good. And you know that you've been happy before. And you know that it's possible. So just do it. Give it a shot. And tell me all about it. Okay? So thank you to my subscribers, my viewers, everyone who's probably just passing by. I appreciate a moment of your time. And I will talk to you again in a few days. Okay? All right. Bye.